It's wonderful to see the Montreal Zen community coming back together online, but also physically as well. Today, I've been asked to speak briefly about concentration and one's own doubt or koa. Recently, I have spoken about the importance of practice being constant and complete. I trust this has become clear. You have confirmed it through your own practice. It is not just something that we go into and out of. It must be the way that we are. And it must come to include everything. This may still sound a bit abstract, so let me speak about it in terms of our actual practice of concentration, attention, or focus, and how this is connected with one's own doubt, one's own koa. First of all, Zen concentration is not ordinary concentration. That is, turning our attention from one thing to another, not thinking about our wandering thoughts anymore, but now focusing on a koan that our teacher has given us, or focusing on our breath, focusing on the sitting itself. This is not Zen concentration. It can be helpful as a process to bring us back to the present moment, to bring our scattered mind into one. But the fundamental point is that Zen concentration is not that kind of concentration. It is a concentration which comes from the ground itself, the ground that we walk on. If we look at ordinary attention, it's kind of like a spotlight or a flashlight illuminating something in our experience. Zen concentration is the sun rising. Everything is illuminated. It's all clear. So in our everyday life, we can apply ourselves and focus on something, of course. But the underlying concentration is not that. You must recognize what the real focus, concentration is. It is prior to this little light that shines on something. The second point to make clear is that this concentration is not just a mental activity. It is something that has to be total, embodied. Of course, in the body, but that body does not end with your head and your toes. It's got to be total and complete. It's not just something that we do, a self-conscious moving of our attention in our mind towards something. It is embodied. There is even room for our own doubt. When that concentration is total, this is where a koan naturally comes into play. For example, what remains? If that concentration is total, what remains to be seen? Or the other side, what is lacking? If this concentration is truly total, what is lacking? That is, what is missing? Is there something that you still need? Again, these are just two simple ways of allowing that concentration to reach its culmination. In the middle of that total concentration, that concentration asks into the source of itself, what remains? Or just as well, what is lacking? Or who is this? Who is at the bottom of this? There are many ways to deal with it, but I would not use questions like why or even how, because these kinds of questions tend to lead us back up into our head, cogitating, thinking about it. Why? Well, my parents and then their parents, it's endless. You're actually scattering the mind rather than bringing it all together. So rather than saying why or even how, who or what is more helpful, you see, in digging right into the totality and the depth of that concentration. It is the ground inquiring into itself, the source itself, not going out into why is this, how is that. You see the difference, I trust, huh? Rather than scattering, the concentration itself becomes total, concrete, not in the least abstract, not in the least. Compared with this concentration, the concentration of our ordinary lives is abstract. It still has a conceptual smell to it. When you really open up to this concentration, you come to realize, yes, you need discipline, you need patience to return the mind again and again. But the point is, eventually it becomes clear. It is not some state that you create. It is found to always already be here as the ground. You cannot really step out of it, although your mind may be lost in wandering thought. But once you really settle into this concentration, you realize it is not just some state that you have manipulated or perfected. It is, in a sense, really coming home to what is always already here. But you must confirm this for yourself. There's no need to manipulate your mind in artificial ways. Of course, we talk about having the body in a certain posture, breathing in a certain way, and a certain mental attitude. But all of this is simply helpful in allowing that concentration to be what it really is, total and complete, without manipulation. Yes, proper guidance is very, very helpful to see where you may be going astray, deluding yourself. But the essential work must be done by each and every one of us. When this concentration reaches its culmination, so to speak, it dissolves. In dissolving, how to say it, the concentration becomes, is found to be the boundless universe. There's nothing to concentrate on. Concentration is total. It's also completely gone without a trace. That is the concentration of Zen. I urge you to confirm it for yourself. Precisely here is where true creativity arises from. Not the creativity, so-called, of manipulating our little mental activities in a new way. That's not creativity at all. But that concentration, not being one single thing, returning to everything, that is creativity. Inseparable, as you. This is also the ground of true compassion, of true love. Because this concentration is not separate from the other. It is the ground of the other, just as much as it is the ground of you. Please confirm this for yourself in your own experience. Pardon me for breaking the silence. Thank you all for listening so intently.